Hello, my name is Susan Daughtry and I'm going to take you through some of the short maths and the long maths that was on today's paper. We're going to look at 8 short math questions. Question 75 asks, a plank of wood is 2 metres long, a workman cuts off 40% of the plank. What is the length in centimetres of the remaining piece? Well, you should always start by converting the measurements into the same units. So here I would convert the 2 metres into 200 centimetres. I then need to calculate what the workman cut off, and he cut off 40%. I have to calculate 40% of 200 centimetres. Well, if 10% is 20 centimetres, 40% is 80 centimetres. So the workman cuts off 80 centimetres of wood, leaving him with 120 centimetres. My answer there would be C. Below is a number machine. The input and output are shown as well as all the operations, but one of the numbers marked N is missing. What is the value of N? If we start at 11 and multiply it by 4, we get the answer 44. From that, we need to deduct 2 squared. Well, 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. So now we have 40. We now have to ask 40 divided by what equals 4? Answer 40 divided by 10 equals 4. So my answer here would be A. Which 2 consecutive even numbers less than 10 have a sum of 6 and a product of 8? Well, we need to know the expressions sum of means that the numbers are added together, and that product of means that the numbers are multiplied by each other. We can now substitute those alternatives to the question. So instead of using sum of, we can use added together, and instead of product of, we can say that the numbers were multiplied by each other, and reread the question. Which 2 consecutive even numbers less than 10, when added together, give the answer 6, and when multiplied by each other, give the answer 8? Well, 2 add 4 makes 6, and 2 times 4 makes 8. So I would suggest that answer C, 2 and 4, are the numbers that we're looking for. Which number in the following Venn diagram is in the wrong position? Well, the first thing we need to do is to check that each of the sets contain numbers that fit the description. We must check that all the numbers in the first set are square numbers, in the second that they are all odd numbers, and in the third that they are all multiples of 3. Then we must look at where the sets overlap. In those areas we've got a 9 and an 81. The 9, it suggests, would be both a square number and an odd number, whereas the 81, it suggests, being in the overlap where all 3 circles overlap, must be a square number, an odd number and a multiple of 3. We're asked which number is in the wrong position. We have then to ask, is 9 and 81 in the correct place? And the answer is yes, the 81 is, but the 9 isn't. The 9 is also a multiple of 3. So 9 is in the wrong place. It should be in that part where the 81 is placed. So my answer would be B, 9 is in the wrong place. It's in that part where the 81 already is. What is the perimeter of a square that has an area of 144 centimetres square? Well, we need to know how to calculate the area of a square. We know that to calculate the area, we multiply the length by the width. We also know that the sides of a square, all of them are of equal length. So now we're looking back for 2 numbers, one number multiplied by itself that will give us the area 144. And we can easily see that 12 times 12 would give us an area of 144. So each of the sides of the square are 12. So to calculate the perimeter, it is 12, add 12, add 12, or if you like, 12 times 4. So the distance around the square, the perimeter, is 48 square centimetres, so my answer is E. An angle on a straight line is split into 3 parts, 65 degrees, 35 degrees and x degrees. What is the value of x? Well, angles on a straight line always add up to 180. And we're given 2 of the angles, 65 and 35 degrees, so we know that those 2 alone will add up to 100 degrees. So all we need to do is the following simple calculation. 180 degrees minus 65 add 35 degrees, which is 100 degrees, equals 80 degrees. So x must equal 80 degrees. My answer is E. When travelling by plane, you're allowed 20 kilograms of luggage free, but you must pay £3 per 500 grams over this. How much would you have to pay to carry 24 kilograms of luggage? 24 kilograms is the amount the passenger is carrying. 20 kilograms is the amount of free luggage he's allowed to carry. So we can calculate that he's actually taking an excess amount of 4 kilograms. Now is a good time to convert the kilograms into grams. So 4 kilograms is equal to 4,000 grams, and he's having to pay £3 for every 500 grams over. He's over 8 times, so we need 8 units of 500 grams costing £3 per unit, so he'll need to pay £24 for the extra 4 kilograms, answer C. If there are 6 red sweets, 2 yellow sweets and 4 green sweets in a jar, what is the probability of choosing a red sweet? Now, in probability, you should first of all begin by adding together all the numbers that you're given. You're given 6 red, 2 yellow, 4 green sweets, so we know there are 12 sweets in the jar. We're told that 6 of them are red sweets, so the chances of choosing a red sweet are 6 out of 12. And if we then reduce 6 out of 12 to lowest terms, dividing top and bottom by 6, which is equivalent to 1 to 2, my answer is B. Now let's look at 3 long math questions. Rajiv took a mental arithmetic test each day for 5 days at school. Here are his scores out of 30, and the score on Wednesday has not been written into the table. Question 1 asks, what was Rajiv's total score for the week if his mean score for the week was 24? Now to find the total, we simply multiply 5 days by the mean. 5 times 24 is 120, so the total score for the week must have been 120. What was Rajiv's score on Wednesday? Well, that's easy because we're given 4 scores, and if we add them all together, 25 add 27 add 22 add 27, we know that on those 4 days he scored 101. We know the total score from the previous question was 120. So on Wednesday he must have scored 120 minus 101. He must have scored 19. So my answer there would be A. What is the mean score expressed as a percentage of the maximum score Rajiv could score each day? Well, we're told in the information above the chart that Rajiv, the top score would be 30. We know that his mean is 24. So we're trying to express his mean score as a percentage of the maximum score. That is 24 to 30. And if we reduce that to lowest terms, it is 4 to 5 when we've divided by 6, which means that it's the same as 80%. My answer would be C. Below is the plan of a hotel garden. It contains 2 circular hot tubs and a rectangular swimming pool, and the rest of the garden is tiled patio. What is the area of the pool? We're told that the depth of the garden is 14 metres. And we're told that if we look at the swimming pool, it has a patio of 2 metres on one side and 6 metres on the other, giving us a total of 8 metres. So we take that 8 metres from the 14 metres and it will end up telling us that the depth of the swimming pool is 6 metres. We're told its length is 16 metres. So to calculate the area, we simply say 16 times 6 is 96 metres square. My answer is C. If the area of the garden covered by each hot tub is 8 metres square, what is the total area of the tiled patio? Well, we know that the whole of the patio is 14 metres by 32 metres. Everything is 448 metres square. We know that the swimming pool takes up an area of 96 metres and each of the 2 hot tubs 8 metres square each. So our total area of patio must be 448 metres square minus the area of the swimming pool plus the hot tubs. And take that away from the 448 leaves us with 336 metres square of just patio. So my answer would be E. Each hot tub holds a maximum of 16 cubic metres of water. If each hot tub is filled one after the other and each one empty at a rate of 1 cubic metre of hot water every 20 minutes, how long will it take to fill both hot tubs to their maximum capacity? Well, each hot tub holds 16 cubic metres and there are 2 of them. So we're looking at filling 32 cubic metres of water. Each cubic metre of water takes 20 minutes. So we simply calculate 32 times 20 minutes, which is 640 minutes, and then change that into hours and minutes. 640 minutes is equivalent to 10 hours and 40 minutes. My answer would be D. Jack has just bought a new fish tank below for his tropical fish. What is the volume of the tank? Well, to calculate the volume, we multiply the length by the breadth by the height, which here is 60 centimetres by 30 centimetres by 30 centimetres. A quick way of doing this, in future, would be to take off the zeros. Take off 60, might take off the 0, leave it to 6. The 30s, take off the zeros, leave them as 3s. And in your answer then, write down those 3 zeros. They will be part of your answer. Now multiply the 6 times the 3 by the 3. Well, 6 3s are 18, 3 18s are 54. So my answer there would be 54 with the 3 zeros. So my answer is 54,000 centimetres cubed. My answer would be D. That's just a quick way of doing that in the future. Here are some additional facts. He puts 1,800 cubic centimetres of sand at the bottom of the tank. He also adds 7,200 cubic centimetres of rocks and plants, and the rest of the tank is filled with water. How many litres of water can Jack now put into his tank if 1,000 cubic centimetres equals 1 litre of water? Well, we know that the total capacity of the tank is 54,000 cubic centimetres. Given the additional facts, we know that he's using up 1,800 cubic centimetres with sand and 7,200 cubic centimetres of rocks and plants. So we add those 2 together, we take it away from the 54,000 cubic centimetres, and we're told that he has room to put in 45,000 cubic centimetres of water. 45,000 cubic centimetres of water is 45 litres, because 1,000 cubic centimetres equals 1 litre. So 45,000 cubic centimetres is 45 litres. So my answer there would be C. Here's another fact. It's recommended that at least 5 litres of water is needed for each small tropical fish. So what is the maximum number of small tropical fish Jack can put in his tank if he follows that recommendation? Well, we know that there are now 45 litres of water in the tank. And if each fish takes 5 litres of water, we know that he can put into his tank 9 fish. Answer C. Final facts. Jack decides to follow the recommendation and puts 1 small tropical fish in the tank for each 5 litres of water. Each fish eats 0.5 grams of fish food per feed, and Jack buys his fish food in 450 gram containers and pays £9 for 1 container. Question: how long will 1 container of fish food last Jack's fish if he feeds all the fish twice a day? Well, he has 9 fish. Each fish eats 0.5 grams of fish food and he feeds them twice a day. So each fish will use 1 gram of food, and 9 fish therefore will use 9 grams of food each day. The container contains 450 grams, so we need to divide that by 9 and it will tell us that he has sufficient food in 1 container for 50 days of fish food. Answer B. How much money is it costing Jack each day to feed all his tropical fish? The fish are fed twice a day. Well, each container costs £9. A container, we know from the previous question, lasts for a total of 50 days. So all we do is we take the £9 and we divide it by 50, and it will tell us that he is spending 18 pence per day to feed his fish. Answer A. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you've done very well. Goodbye.